As we learn more and more about how we create our own realities and how much power we actually have in the creative process of creating our own realities, we can get hung up sometimes on this idea that speaking negativity will create negativity. And a lot of us get scared. I know I definitely have gone through this. I've been through this where I've been scared about saying negative thoughts and feelings that might be going on in my head. Maybe I'm having an intrusive thought. Maybe I have anxiety about something. And I'm scared to say it out loud because I've convinced myself that everything I say, every word I say has energy, and some of us really mute ourselves from speaking what's going on inside of ourselves and isolate ourselves in and suppress any negativity deep down within ourselves, deep down in the shadows, never letting it come up and see the light of day because we fear that speaking it to another person or bringing it out into the light will amplify it and create more of it. Now, how I've come to understand this, and I've tested this, I tested this last weekend, which was a couple of days ago. I actually spoke out loud to somebody else something that was going on inside of me that had been kind of this background, just program of negativity that had been silently following me. I finally spoke it out loud to somebody this weekend, a couple of days ago. And since then, I've experienced the direct opposite. So I was having an experience in my reality, feeling a certain way, attracting a certain thing, wishing that I had the opposite. And after speaking it out loud, now I'm experiencing the opposite. Almost like speaking it out loud, saying it out loud, allowed that thing that was inside of me, unspoken in the shadows, that darkness that I was just believing and carrying along with me, bringing it up, bringing it into the light, sharing it with somebody allowed me to transform it. Having experiences like this has really taught me that suppressing things inside of us because we fear that bringing them up will create more of them and we will end up attracting more of them is a false premise. Because remember this, your energy above all else. So imagine yourself as this big orb of light, just for this example's sake, and you've got a physical body having a physical experience. Words are just these little micro bursts of energy going on in this huge expansive energy. So your energy, yes, the energy of words will come into the energy, but if you have practiced a particular energy, speaking these words out loud will come up and into your practice energy. And if your practice energy is practiced enough, it's just going to dilute them. It's just going to transform them. So imagine that you're this big, expansive ball of light and you're walking around and you have these beliefs that are stored in your system from an experience that happened once. And these beliefs can sometimes create these thinking, feeling cycles. And then suddenly you're kind of getting influenced by these beliefs. They're existing suppressed deep down inside of you. And they enter these thinking and feeling cycles because that's what happens when a belief gets activated. It starts activating the neurological pathways, and then they send chemicals to the body to let the body know what the brain is thinking, and the body sends chemicals back to the brain, and you enter these thinking, feeling cycles. If you continue to let that belief live inside of you, it's going to keep pulling you into these thinking and feeling cycles, which is actually influencing your greater energy. But if you practice your energy, and then when you have a belief that starts to drag you into this negative thinking, feeling cycle, if you speak it out loud and bring those words, bring this thing that's trying to hide in the shadows up into the light, you allow the light to penetrate it. You allow the light that you are, your real energy, the energy that you've been practicing, to transform and transmute that belief instead of allowing it to stay within you and keep influencing your energy. So when you mute yourselves, when we train ourselves to mute ourselves and suppress negativity and never let it up into the light of our energy, what we're doing is we're allowing that darkness, that negativity, those shadows to keep on existing. But if we allow them to come up, that's when we allow them to enter the light of day, enter the light of our energy, and get transformed into what we would prefer them to be. I remember last weekend when I finally spoke to this friend about what was going on deep within that I was trying to suppress. When I finally said it out loud, I could feel it mix with my real energy, and I could feel it kind of just lose its power, lose its force. And I could see it outside of myself in my energy, and I could see how silly it was and how much it was a choice. So bringing it up into the light actually transformed it. And since then, I've been living the complete direct opposite, and it has no power over me anymore. And so I just what the takeaway I want you to get from this video is I want for you to not fear bringing things into the light, not fear talking to somebody, don't fear saying the negativity that might be going on inside of you, because every time you suppress negativity, you let it stay within you. Every time you speak it out loud, you bring it into the light and you bring it into a space where it can be transformed into something greater. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Lots of love.